Today we're going to look at the two major objections to biblical inerrancy. Remember that inerrancy simply means lack of errors. Biblical inerrancy is the belief that the Bible is without error in the original manuscripts. Simply, whatever the Bible says is true, and whatever it says is false, is false. The first objection is that inerrancy is based on no longer existing originals. This objection is raised because biblical inerrancy states that only the original text is without error. And since we don't have the original texts, inerrancy is sort of a cop-out. Inerrancy can't really be proved or disproved. This objection may sound convincing, but there are several problems with it. First, the objection itself is incorrect. It's not true that we don't possess the original text. We do possess the original text in well-preserved copies. What we don't possess is the original manuscripts. Second, the manuscript evidence and the science of textual criticism show that the Bible has been accurately preserved. The Greek scholar A.T. Robertson said, "The real concern is only with 1,000th part of the entire text." This would make the New Testament 99.9% free of significant variance. Dr. Bruce Metzger, the longtime Princeton professor, calculated the New Testament was about 99.5% accurate. The remaining 0.5% or so affect no major doctrines or beliefs in Christianity, including the life, death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. If you'd prefer to hear the same thing from an agnostic atheist, then consider that Bart Ehrman writes, "The essential Christian beliefs are not affected by textual variance in the manuscript tradition of the New Testament." Textual critics, both Christians and atheists alike, agree on this. Norman Geisler wrote, "Also, there's a difference between the text and the truth of the text. While the exact text of the original can only be reconstructed with 99% or so accuracy, nevertheless, 100% of the truth comes through." This is an obvious but easily overlooked fact. Consider that your friend might send you a text that said, "Hey, let's grab pizza for dinner." Even though this sentence has only 96% accuracy, one mistake out of 25 letters, you still understood 100% of the message. Keep in mind that the thousands of copies of the Bible from all over the globe are significantly more accurate than that sample text message that you understood with 100% clarity without any trouble. Finally, let's say the original US Constitution was lost or destroyed. We would no longer know what it said, right? Wrong. We would know 100% of what it said, even if there were some typos in certain copies. That would not change the fact that we know what the original said. The same applies to the Bible as well. The second objection is that inerrancy is contrary to fact, that there are errors in the Bible. In response to this objection, Geisler wrote, "The fact is that no one has ever demonstrated that there is an error in the original text of the Bible. Rather, those who allege errors in the Bible have been found in error." In fact, Norman Geisler wrote a book with Thomas Howe called The Big Book of Bible Difficulties. The introduction alone is worth the price of the book because Geisler and Howe outline the 17 main mistakes that critics make when they allege a Bible error or contradiction. I'll highlight 3 of those mistakes that I see often. Number 1, failing to understand the context of a passage. Number 2, assuming that a partial report is a false report. And number 3, presuming the Bible approves of all it records. Similarly, Gleason Archer wrote an encyclopedia of Bible difficulties, where he also systematically goes through and responds to the most common alleged errors in the Bible. Nearly every supposed error or contradiction is straightforward and easy to resolve with a little research. Typically, online videos about supposed contradictions or errors in the Bible have already been thoroughly answered and refuted by scholars. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, alleged errors, or contradictions that you want to explore. Overall, we know with 100% certainty what the original text of the Bible says, and despite being handled with more scrutiny than any other book in history, it remains what it has always been: inerrant.